A $3 million mansion sitting empty for 15 years, cars worth more than your house rotting in the garage, family photos scattered on moldy floors. This is Rod T. Kelly's abandoned home, and I'm about to show you things inside that will blow your mind. But first, smash that subscribe button because in this video, we're going deep inside this creepy house, and I promise you won't believe what we find. Stay till the end because the biggest shock is coming in the final minutes. Right now I'm standing outside what used to be one of the most expensive homes in Illinois. This place cost $2.9 million back in the day. That's like $6 million in today's money. The man who lived here was Robert Kelly, or as you know him, R. Kelly. This guy sold over 75 million records worldwide. He made hits like I Believe I Can Fly, and had money flowing like water. But look at this place now. Weeds everywhere, broken windows, rusted gates. It looks like something from a horror movie. But here's the crazy part. This house has been empty since 2008. That's 15 years of nobody living here, nobody taking care of it, just sitting here falling apart piece by piece. And inside there are still things from when the family lived here, personal stuff, family pictures, even expensive cars that nobody wanted to take. We're going to see it all today. Let me tell you how this all started. Back in 1996, R. Kelly was the king of R&B music. His songs were #1 on every chart. He was making millions every year. Concert tickets sold out in minutes. Record companies were throwing money at him. He was living the American dream, and he wanted a house that showed everyone just how successful he was. So he bought this massive mansion in Olympia Fields, Illinois. This isn't just any neighborhood. This is where rich people live. Doctors, lawyers, business owners. And now R. Kelly was their neighbor. The house had 8 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms. Let me say that again. 14 bathrooms. Most people don't even know 14 people. And this guy had 14 bathrooms in his house. But that's not even the best part. This place had a full recording studio in the basement. Not some small room with a microphone. A real professional studio, where he made some of his biggest hits. There was an indoor basketball court, where he could play anytime he wanted. A swimming pool that looked like it belonged at a resort. And a garage that could fit 12 cars. Not just any cars either. We're talking about Lamborghinis, Bentleys and other supercars that cost more than most people make in 5 years. During the good times, this house was full of life. R. Kelly married a woman named Andrea in 2006. She was a backup dancer who had worked with him for years. Together they had 3 kids, Joanne, Jaya and Robert Jr. These kids lived like royalty, private schools, expensive clothes, vacations to places most of us only see in movies. The house was always busy with birthday parties, family dinners and friends coming over. The recording studio downstairs was where the magic happened. R. Kelly would spend hours down there making new songs. Famous singers would come over to work with him. The house was like a music factory, pumping out hit after hit, and upstairs his family was living their best life. The kids were happy, running around this huge house playing in rooms bigger than most apartments. But even when everything looked perfect, there were problems starting. By 2002, people were talking about R. Kelly in ways that weren't good. Legal problems were beginning. Lawyers were getting expensive. And here's something most people don't know. Even though R. Kelly was making millions, he was also spending millions. The house cost a fortune just to keep running. Electric bills, water bills, paying people to take care of the grounds. It was like feeding a monster that never got full. Then in 2005, everything changed. Andrea filed for divorce. She said she couldn't stay married to him anymore. When famous people get divorced, it gets messy fast. Lawyers, court battles, fighting over money and who gets what. But the worst part was fighting over the kids. Andrea wanted to protect them, and Raquel wanted to keep them close. The legal bills started piling up like snow in a blizzard. Here's where the story gets really sad. The kids who had done nothing wrong suddenly found their world falling apart. One day they're living in this amazing house with everything they could want. The next day their parents are fighting in court, and news reporters are asking questions about their dad. Imagine being a kid and not understanding why your perfect life is suddenly chaos. The divorce was brutal and expensive. R. Kelly had to pay Andrea money every month. He had to pay for the kids' expenses. He had lawyers charging him thousands of dollars every day. And remember, he also owed the government over $5 million in taxes. $5 million. That's more money than most people will see in their entire lives. And he owed it to the IRS. By 2007, the money problems were getting serious. R. Kelly wasn't selling as many records. Concert bookings were slowing down. The legal troubles were scaring away business partners. But he was still trying to live like he had unlimited money. Still trying to keep up the lifestyle that this mansion demanded. It was like trying to fill a bucket with a giant hole in the bottom. Then came 2008, and everything collapsed. The family had to leave the house. Just like that, this place that had been full of laughter and music became empty. The kids had to leave their bedrooms, their toys, their friends at school. Andrea had to start over somewhere else. And Raquel, well, he was about to learn that money problems don't just go away. Now here's where it gets really wild. When I say they left the house, I mean they left everything. Walk with me to the garage, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a Lamborghini Gallardo sitting here that cost over $200,000 when it was new. Look at it now. Flat tires, dust everywhere, rust starting to show. This car used to be someone's pride and joy. Now it's basically expensive junk. Next to it is a Bentley Continental that cost even more. These aren't just cars. These are symbols of success, of making it in America. But they've been sitting here for 15 years, slowly falling apart. The leather seats are cracked. The engines will never start again. It's like a graveyard for dreams. But the cars are just the beginning. Let's go inside the house and see what else got left behind. As we walk through the front door, the first thing you notice is the smell. It's musty and damp, like an old basement. This used to be the grand entrance where guests would walk in and immediately know they were somewhere special. Now it just feels sad and empty. The living room used to have furniture that cost more than most people's cars. Custom-made sofas, expensive artwork, entertainment systems that filled entire walls. Now there's nothing but water stains on the ceiling and holes in the walls where pipes burst during cold winters. Every winter for 15 years, this house has been freezing cold with no heat. Pipes burst, water floods the rooms, and then it all freezes again. It's like nature is slowly taking back what humans built. Let's head upstairs to where the family used to sleep. The master bedroom is huge, maybe bigger than your entire apartment. There used to be a king-size bed here, walk-in closets full of expensive clothes, and a bathroom with marble everything. Now the roof leaks right into the room. When it rains, water comes pouring in. The fancy carpet is ruined. The walls have mold growing on them. It's hard to believe people used to live here, but here's what really breaks your heart. The kids' bedrooms. In Joanne's room, there are still some things left behind. A stuffed animal on the windowsill, looking out like it's waiting for her to come back. Some stickers on the wall that she put up when she was little. In Robert Jr.'s room, there's a basketball hoop still mounted on the wall. This kid probably dreamed of being a basketball star, shooting hoops in his own bedroom. Now the hoop is rusty, and the room is empty. Jaya's room has dance trophies still sitting on a shelf, real trophies she won at competitions. These represented hours of practice, moments of victory, dreams of maybe becoming a professional dancer. Now they're just collecting dust in an abandoned house, forgotten like everything else here. The kitchen tells its own story. This wasn't just any kitchen. It was huge, with professional-grade appliances, granite countertops, and enough space to cook for an army. The family probably had amazing meals here, Sunday dinners, birthday celebrations, quiet breakfasts before school. Now the refrigerator door hangs open, and everything inside rotted away years ago. The stove doesn't work. The cabinets are warped from water damage. It's like looking at the skeleton of family life. But wait until you see the recording studio in the basement. This is where R. Kelly made some of his biggest hits. There used to be gold and platinum records hanging on the walls, showing off his success. Professional recording equipment worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now it's all gone or broken. The mixing board is covered in dust. Microphones hang from their stands like dead flowers. This room used to create music that millions of people loved. Now it's silent as a tomb. The indoor basketball court is maybe the saddest part of all. This was a full-size court inside the house. Imagine having your own basketball court where you could practice anytime, play with friends, or just shoot around when you were stressed. The floor is warped now. The hoops are rusty, and there are holes in the walls. But you can still picture a family playing here together, laughing and having fun before everything went wrong. Outside, the swimming pool area looks like something from an apocalypse movie. The pool is filled with green, stagnant water, leaves and debris floating on top. The pool house, which used to be like a mini hotel for guests, has boarded up windows. The outdoor kitchen where they probably had barbecues and pool parties is overgrown with weeds. Nature is slowly eating everything. Here's what makes this story even crazier. While this house was falling apart, R. Kelly's legal problems were getting worse and worse. In 2019, he was finally arrested on serious federal charges. The trial revealed things that had been rumors for years. In 2021, he was found guilty and sentenced to 30 years in prison. 30 years. He's 67 years old now, which means he might never get out. Think about this. The man who used to live in this mansion, who had everything money could buy, now lives in a prison cell smaller than one of his old closets. He went from having 14 bathrooms to sharing one with other prisoners. From having a recording studio to complete silence. From having luxury cars to walking everywhere. It's one of the biggest falls from grace in entertainment history. But what about his family? This is the part that really matters. Andrea, his ex-wife, had to completely rebuild her life. She went from being married to one of the most famous singers in the world, to being a single mom trying to protect her kids from the mess their father created. She's become an advocate for other women who've been through similar situations, turning her pain into purpose. The kids had it even harder. Imagine being in high school and having classmates whisper about your dad. Imagine applying for college and wondering if your last name will hurt your chances. These kids didn't choose any of this, but they had to live with the consequences of their father's actions. They went from having every door open to them, to having doors slammed shut because of their last name. Joanne, Jaya, and Robert Jr. are all adults now. They've had to create their own identities, separate from their father's legacy. Some of them have changed their names. They've worked hard to build lives based on their own achievements, not their father's fame or his crimes. It takes incredible strength to overcome that kind of childhood trauma. The neighborhood around this house has interesting stories too. When R. Kelly first moved in, Neighbors were excited to have a celebrity living nearby. Some were proud to tell people they lived near a famous singer. But as the legal troubles mounted and the house became abandoned, that pride turned to frustration. Property values in the area started dropping because nobody wants to live next to a creepy abandoned mansion. Local kids used to dare each other to sneak onto the property. Vandals broke windows and spray-painted walls. The house became a local curiosity, then a local problem. Neighbors started complaining to the city about the eyesore in their community. Some tried to maintain the grass that grew onto their property from the abandoned lot, but there was only so much they could do. The financial impact of R. Kelly's crimes goes way beyond just his own family. Court documents show he owes millions in restitution to his victims, money that will probably never be fully paid since he's in prison with no income. The IRS is still owed those back taxes from years ago. Interest and penalties have made that debt even bigger. Creditors are still trying to collect money he borrowed years ago. It's a financial disaster that affects dozens of people. Meanwhile, his victims are still dealing with the trauma of what they went through. Some have found their voices and become advocates for other survivors. Others prefer to heal privately, away from public attention. But they all deserve justice, and they all deserve peace. The abandoned mansion serves as a reminder not just of R. Kelly's fall, but of the pain that was allegedly caused behind these walls. Here's something that might surprise you. This house, which cost nearly $3 million, is now basically worthless. Who wants to buy a house that's been abandoned for 15 years? The roof leaks, the plumbing is destroyed, there's mold everywhere, and the structure itself might not be safe. It would cost more to fix it than it's worth. So it just sits here, slowly crumbling away, waiting for someone to decide what to do with it. The city has talked about tearing it down, but that costs money too. Demolishing a house this big isn't cheap, so it remains a monument to excess and consequence, visible to everyone who drives by. Some people stop to take pictures, others just shake their heads and keep driving. But everyone who sees it understands that it represents something bigger than just one man's story. As we finish walking through this abandoned mansion, it's impossible not to think about choices and consequences. R. Kelly had everything: talent, fame, money, a beautiful family, and a home that most people can only dream of. But according to the courts, he made choices that hurt other people, and those choices eventually destroyed everything he had built. This house stands as proof that no amount of money or fame can protect someone from the results of their actions. Every broken window, every moldy wall, and every rusted car in the garage tells the same story. Success built on hurting others will eventually collapse. Justice might be slow, but it's real. The most important lesson from this abandoned mansion isn't about R. Kelly, it's about the innocent people who got hurt along the way. The victims who found the courage to speak up. The children who lost their childhood. The ex-wife who had to start over. The community that had to watch their neighborhood change. These are the real stories that matter. Today R. Kelly sits in a federal prison, probably for the rest of his life. His music is rarely played on the radio anymore. His name is associated with crime instead of creativity. And this mansion, his former symbol of success, sits empty and forgotten, slowly being reclaimed by nature. This exploration of R. Kelly's abandoned mansion shows us that fame and fortune are temporary, but the impact of our choices lasts forever. If this video opened your eyes to the real cost of crime and the importance of speaking up for victims, hit that subscribe button right now, and ring the notification bell. Share this video with someone who needs to see that actions have consequences, no matter who you are. Comment below and tell me what shocked you most about this abandoned mansion. And remember, if you or someone you know needs help, The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7 at 1-800-799-7233. Together we can make sure that voices of survivors are heard louder than the silence of abandoned dreams. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.